This Black History Month, we're highlighting stories from around the country. And today we head down to Cahokia Heights in Illinois, home of Jerome Manson.
In the 1840s, a man named Pete sued for his freedom. Pete helped officially end slavery in Illinois. Sydney Stallworth from our sister station in St. Louis has this piece of history.
He was the vanguard of this case that basically outlaws slavery in totality for the entire state of Illinois.
We know it now as the land of Lincoln, but Illinois' stance on slavery hasn't always been so firmly planted against it.
A servant for life, how is that any different than an enslaved individual?
It's the same question Joseph Pete Giroux asked himself after decades of living in servitude. In 1843, he brought that question to the St. Clair County Court.
Suing not only for his freedom, but suing for back wages owed to him as a worker or as an individual here in the Giroux family.
But Julia Giroux claimed Pete was a slave, descended from a woman who she said was also a slave in Illinois before the passage of the Northwest Ordinance, and so Pete wasn't entitled to any wages.
In 1787, the United States, this is the Articles of Confederation, passes a law called the Northwest Ordinance, which basically outlaws slavery north of the Ohio River. Illinois is north of the Ohio River. So slavery should not exist at all anywhere here in Illinois.
So to keep slaves, the law was tweaked in 1818, cementing the changes in the 1818 Illinois State Constitution. Illinois entered the Union that year as a technically free state on paper. So essentially, Illinois was operating in a loophole.
Laws were created to sidestep the word slave and call them indentured servants.
Those laws in the 1818 Constitution said it was legal to hold a person as an indentured servant for life, and that, quote, neither slavery nor involuntary servitude shall hereafter be introduced in the state. That word hereafter grandfathered in slavery and meant slaves who already lived in the state would not be freed. Pete argued this was wrong.
The original case was heard in Belleville. The court favored or ruled in favor of Pete's master, Julia.
But Pete appealed, and in 1845 his case was taken before the Illinois Supreme Court.
But the court ruled that in accordance with the Northwest Ordinance of 1787, slavery cannot exist in any form.
In 1848, the Illinois Constitution was changed to reflect the ruling. Pete's impact permanently etched into history and holding America accountable to its own declaration that all men are created equal.
I think it's incredible to imagine what must have been like to take those first steps, to try to cross the river, to sue, to win your freedom. Thank goodness that they did.
Pete's case was a springboard to abolishing slavery nationwide. Well, the oldest black student-run newspaper in the U.S. just joined the Century Club. The Hilltop from Howard University made its debut 100 years ago. Like most long-running organizations, there have been some bumps in the road, but staffers say they believe the future still looks bright.
AMC theaters are using hit films to celebrate Black History Month. Movie tickets starring black actors or with directors are $5 at select AMC theaters. The promotion runs through the month. Starting Friday, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse returns to the big screen on February 16th, the remake of The Color Purple. And Pixar's Soul will close out the month on February 22nd.